Look beyond. Just under the surface are treasures to be had. While most walk on by, stop and look deeper. Take a moment. Take a breath. Don't walk on by. It's worth the wait. Look beneath the surface today. This is where the true treasures lie. Look deeper. Look beyond. Look closer. Make a list of things that bring you joy. Make a list of what you would like to achieve in your life. Make a list of the type of person you wish to be. I do not believe that on that list would be neither addictions, temptations, nor anything dark or in excess. Of course not. Most of us strive to be better people, and those temptations and addictions are what teach us lessons. They are what make us who we are. They are the things that make us strong. Do not seek them. Do not be tempted by them. You have been there. You know what they bring. Reach beyond your weaknesses to your strengths today. To achieve greatness and enlightenment, one must reach for the heavens. They are in your grasp. Breathe. Reach for the light. Reach for the stars. Do not long for what reaches up to grab you from the depths. There is too much life to be lived here, in the light. Excerpt from My Italian Therapy, Chapter 5, just below the surface. Changing your life, one day at a time. Written and narrated by Gina Fiore. Available on Audible on Amazon. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. This was the most harrowing hour of my life. I have never, in my entire life, all the places I've been to, all the winters I've spent, all the car trips I've been on, I have never driven through the depth of the mountains that I just drove through in the fog, in the rain, next to rivers, foggy lake areas. I mean, I'm kind of glad it was raining, because if it wasn't raining, I would have been filming like for half a day. They were the steepest, deepest fjords I've ever driven through. I liken it to when I drove the billion-dollar highway from Durango, Mexico to Mazatlan before the billion-dollar highway was built
I think there's like 100 and something bridges and 60 something tunnels. Before that was built, you would have to go down into the Sierra Madre mountains through all the villages of the poppy fields and all the drugs. Now, I'm not saying there's all of that here. I'm just saying the $1 billion highway made it infinitely easier and manageable and possible to be able to connect coast to coast. And that was hours. We're talking 49 kilometers from my hotel. And this is why I tried to find a hotel, because when I saw the sign that said Nord 49 kilometers to Scalea, I thought, oh my God, I cannot drive that. Thank God, because I probably would have died there. The sheer cliffs and the rocky, rugged landscape was so intense that it even freaked me out. And I am the seasoned adventurer person, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like it. So I didn't film through the center because I was afraid I would lose my GPS in the mountains and then not know where I'm going, and I just wanted to get out of there. But anyway, I came out of the tunnel and I'm looking at the sea. So I went from the mountains to the sea, and I am going to go ahead and do a little bit of research to see what mountain range that is, how high it is, and the history, and who the heck put that road in. It was an engineering miracle, because it wasn't even steep, it was almost flat along the river, over lakes. I mean, fantastic, amazing. But here's what I understand now. I don't think there's any other way to get from Naples to this part of the world, this part of the country. That is why the condos in Scalea are 35,000 euro, because you can't get here. And I wouldn't want to go through that canyon of a thing in the wintertime on a bus just to get to the Naples airport. There is another airport south of here that I'm going to explore. Other than that, Bari, but I don't think it's any easier. This is crazy. But anyway, who's ever been down here, I don't know, have any of you driven this or flown into Calabria? Because I don't know anybody who has. But anyway, this is just a little public service announcement because I'm amazed that I'm still alive. I have a Fiat and very reliable cars, and that's why I asked for one, because I'm going to be going into small villages and I didn't want a big car. But people drive like maniacs on these roads, and I don't understand how there's not more accidents. So anyway, so I'm in Calabria now. After I passed the river, I did go back, I did some filming. Today was just a little bit shocking, because you can look at something on a map, you can do your research, but sometimes until you are actually experiencing the experience, you have no clue. There are very few Americans who would ever venture down here, I'm telling you, so there's not going to be that many. If there are, they are hardy souls. Hardy indeed. Well, I arrived in Scalea and I'm having a muffin and a cup of tea in this lovely little cafe. It's very nice here. And I saw the historic center and I'm trying to get my bearings and check in, do laundry, and those little glass pubs to sit outside. Charming. It's definitely a wow. Coming your way. It's like a wow.
Scalea is notable as one of the very first human settlements in southern Italy. Excavations of the caves beneath Tolleo have unearthed Neanderthal bones and stones from the Paleolithic era and surrounding Leo Valley, as contains evidence of small protohistoric Bronze and Iron Age, approximately 10,000 to 7,000 BCE communities throughout. In approximately 600 BCE, Greek Sybarites founded the city of Laos along the Leo River. Laos is considered the antecedent of modern-day Scalea, as in subsequent Roman colony of Lavinium. Ruins of imperial-era Roman villas are scattered all throughout surrounding plains and lowlands. The present city of Scalea arose sometime during the Lombard-Byzantine conflict. Towards the end of the 7th century, Scalea was occupied by the Lombards, and it remained their colony up until Charlemagne's conquest of Italy in the 800s. The Lombards built the city's fortress, its 2 gates, and many surrounding homes that linked together to function as a wall. The city's main military gate sat atop, guarded by Gastaldo Fortress, which was later converted by the Normans into a castle, additional housing, and Piazza Similonga. It is during this time that the city came to be known as Scalea, perhaps due to the neighborhood surrounding the castle gradually developing outwards and vertically like the rungs on a ladder.
So I'm looking at the render work and the cement work on this building versus the one next to it. Very amazing craftsman, because the one next to it is for sale and it's not done and it's crumbling, probably like this one was. Pretty cool. A lot of work going on up here. This one's for sale. Look at the view. For sale. Vende. Look at that. For sale. Wouldn't that be fun? Be like restoring a castle.
During the Roman era, Scalea hosted significant mercantile and seafaring activity, and by the beginning of the 15th century, it had become one of the most important maritime centers on the Mediterranean Sea. Following a rebellion against the Angevin Empire in the 12th century, the port had been converted into state-owned land with significant tax relief that greatly facilitated commercial activity. The Scalian navy took advantage of this opportunity to become one of the most renowned in Calabria, with reach all throughout the major ports of the Mediterranean.
Now vegetables, wine, bread in Italy at Volare Siciliani, a Sicilian restaurant. Works for me. Nova. This is so delicious. The bread and the vegetables and the cheeses. So delicious. And the wine. Fantastic. And so the pasta comes. Does that not look fabulous? Pasta, antipasta, and my wine. It's a beautiful day. I'm sitting outside in Scalea, Italy. Yum. Mangia, mangia. Buongiorno from Scalea. I'm walking on the beach this morning, and it's quite warm actually. I have a fleece on, but it's too warm. And I'm gonna venture up to the castle on the beach this morning. Yesterday I had some company. I met a nice gentleman from Russia who was a filmmaker, and he recently did a film on LGBTQ, and it was an interesting conversation because he's part Ukraine and he lives in Moscow. He's here visiting some friends. He's been here before, and he's made lots of little documentaries about the United States via the Russian embassy, or the U.S. embassy in Russia. So those would be interesting to find. I have his website, so I'm going to look it up. He said he may still have links, but I think it's kind of frowned upon. So just a solitary morning. I'm going to head for breakfast to that place I ate at last night. It was really good. But isn't it beautiful here? I love walking by the sea. I'm going to stay another day at B&B Matteo. Very nice room, nice hotel, but I think I'm the only one in it. There's not very good internet. And hotels are hard to find. So one more night, we're going to catch up and then venture down south where I don't know. I think I'll just kind of play it by ear. Just get in the Fiat and drive south. It's my only sanity, my only rest. It's to go on little adventures in my life. And this is quite the adventure. Scalea, Calabria. No English spoken. Internet is hard to find. And the mountains are enormous. And come to find out, I didn't have to go that way. There was another way to go. I could have driven along the coast. I don't know, my GPS, I should have never trusted it. I thought I knew what I was doing, but it goes without saying. And I can't really find out any information on that road from the Italian town that I came from in Basilicata, and the road that I drove down in between the mountains there. Can't find any information on it. I guess there used to be a railroad that went through, and there's a railroad bridge, like this big extension bridge that was built in the 40s, I think. And well, here's the castle I was going to venture up to, but it looks like the gate is closed. I don't know if that's a seasonal thing or probably, or just I'm on the wrong side, because this is the drive up part. There might be a trail like I found with in the castle yesterday at the top of town, but Anyway, so I'm gonna head back into town. Yum. It's a waffle with pistachio. Yum. Does that look beautiful? Look at that. Oh, a cappuccino. Manja, manja.